Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of Talks with V. We are streaming live here with the HBCU Lounge Network, and we're so happy to have you guys joining us this evening. We are talking about finances, and I'm excited to talk about that. We have not spoken about finances on the show as of yet, and so I'm excited to see what we're going to learn. And our guest tonight is passionate about wealth building. She is a public figure, tax leader, curator, CEO of Carter and Associates, and so much more. And I'm excited to hear all about her wealth of knowledge and expertise on finances and taxes. So, welcome, Ms. Drika Carter. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, V. Hi, everyone. I am Drika Carter, and I'm
Yes.
excited to be here.
Yes, awesome. And so, Drika, tell us a little bit about yourself for the people, to get to know you a little bit.
Sure, of course. I am the one and only Drika Carter. My real name is Chandrika, but I go by Drika because so many people already know me as Drika Carter. So I really center my personal brand around Drika Carter, not my full name. But I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a serial CEO. I am a three times best-selling author, award-winning tax mentor, as well as my own Carter Capital. I was voted 100 top influential women. I was voted Alignable's local best business person of the year, best woman in financial services. I was featured in Fox News, CBS News. I was on
Mhm.
the CW before talking about finances as well. Two times Better
Wow.
Order Brand speaker. That's literally where I just came from, Better Order Brands for our second year, speaking on
Yes, I
finances
did
and
not.
business taxes and things of that sort, as well as I own a tax brokerage. So we teach and license people to own their own tax companies as well. So
Mm,
I'm here to help build empires. That's a little bit about me.
that's awesome. I'm definitely going to have to refer a friend. She does taxes and she
Mhm.
does my taxes. She does a great job. And we tell her all the time, like, you need to have your own taxes. And she's like, I do. She's like, but it gets stressful, And so
It does.
I'm sure she'll learn a lot, just from watching, tonight. And I'm going to make sure I send her, all your information as well. But
Definitely.
yes, yes, yes. I'm all about promoting Black
Yes.
businesses.
Share the
Of
wealth.
course.
Share the wealth.
Yes, of course. And so, I can't let it slide. I heard that accent there. So tell us, can you cook? I mean, I hear that New Orleans in there. So
Of
I
course
know.
I can cook. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
My
So,
favorite dish would be like seafood pasta. We
okay.
literally, I had a restaurant for like 7 years, and I just closed it. I retired from the restaurant. It was called Food and
Oh,
Pleasure. So we did
mm,
bakery treats, and we also had like lunchtime meals. We didn't open in the evening. We closed at 4, so we called that lunch rush like from 11 to 4. But we had different dishes on each day, like Monday, red bean Monday, Taco Tuesday, Wing
mm.
Wednesday, seafood potatoes on Thursdays, and fish plates on Fridays. That was our menu.
Oh, that's so nice. And it probably needs to close down about 4 p.m. so that, so that food, you can work that food off because, New Orleans, the food there is just fire. I went for
Yes,
Essence
ma'am.
Festival and I just had me a good time. I said, oh, I couldn't live here because I'd be eating like that all the time. And you can't eat like that all the time, not every
Right.
day.
That's what they get.
Gotta
What you call it, the itis. They say you get the itis.
You do. You do. That and soul food, just starts making you feel like, oh, you just feeling good.
Oh, I
You're
gotta
like,
go lay
what? I could
down.
just lay on this couch, turn on some Netflix or whatever, a movie, and just fall out. So,
Yes.
so definitely. So, Miss Drika, tell us, how long have you been providing financial services?
For about 9 years now. Yes, this is my ninth year.
Wow. It's a long time, to be in
I
financial
love it.
services.
I
Yeah,
love it.
no, for sure. And it's awesome because it's good to see, people like yourself, in the
Mhm.
Black community. A lot of times, the finances is kind of like questionable. Some people struggle a lot, a lot of our parents
Mhm.
struggle with it. And so it's kind of like the next generation is learning more about, being better budgeters, you know.
Mhm.
and also learning about investing in those different things, and strengthening their knowledge in those areas. And
Right.
so I just think that it's amazing to be able to see, woman of color, um, out there doing their thing, and then you've ran multiple businesses, so you really know what to do with the money, and so
Yes.
that's really exciting. And so with finances, I know there's tons of misconceptions about finances, what to do, where to start. So what are some of the misconceptions about building wealth?
I would say most people think that wealth comes from having money. I
Mm.
think that wealth comes from having freedom. Once you have freedom, then the money will listen naturally just start to gravitate towards you, especially when you know how to properly use the money. I see you mentioned budgeting.
Mhm.
One of the things I always tell people about budgeting is like knowing how to have discipline, and also
Mhm.
knowing when you can spend, when you can't spend. Like right now, where a lot of people are having talks about being in a recession, or feeling the results of we're going in the direction of a recession because everything is inflated, meaning the
Mhm.
prices are so high, we're spending so much money, we're not making enough money,
Right.
things like that. So just knowing how to pivot and basically where to move your money in certain moments is really important, especially for our culture, because we blow money so fast on so many unnecessary things, right? And just knowing
Absolutely. Mhm.
where my money is coming from, how can I properly separate my money or my bills overtaking how much money I have coming in. Like all of these things are factors that you got to pay attention to. So I feel as though you have to pay attention to your finances, basically set a budget, be stern on your budget, because it's really important. A lot of people don't realize that even starting a business, even starting a business, making sure that you don't commingle funds and separating everything, having an
Mhm.
actual business account, having an actual bill account, having an actual personal account. And another thing you can use is like the envelope method, actually having like, hey, this is my savings envelope, even if you can't get to the bank or transfer money over and things like that.
Mhm.
Having, okay, this is an envelope for me to go shopping, this is an
That's a
envelope
good
for
one.
me to save money, this is
Mhm.
an envelope for me to pay credit card debt off, this is
Go
an
old
envelope,
school.
whatever it is. Yes, go old school, and it's like
Yeah.
writing checks. That's that same every month. Listen, once you can do it by percentages and say, this is my
Mhm.
savings. I have 10% for savings, 10% of tithes, 20% for this,
Right.
50% go, your household got to get taken care of, right? So that's
Right.
mostly 50% of your income for
Right.
majority of it. If you don't have, like, if you have a house note, let's say a car note or rent, whatever, that's
Mhm.
majority of your income right there. So of course,
Yeah.
having that on the side already, or having a specific account that money comes in and out of, you won't have to worry about touching your other finances on a day-to-day basis, and that kind of disciplines you a lot and makes you see, look, I don't have money to do all this extra stuff at this moment or yet, right? But
Right.
once I get there, I'll already be structured, because a lot of people think that they need more money, but if you can't manage little, you won't ever be able to manage more. Like you have to.
That's so true. That is so true. I think that a lot of people don't realize that. They're like, I have some friends that are like, "Oh, I just need to get another job," and it's just like, no, you don't. You don't need to keep
You need to stop.
piling on more jobs. That pay you a little bit here, pay you a little bit there, and
Mhm.
then at the end of the day, you're just working so hard. Blood, shedding blood and tears, just to
Yes.
still be broke. Or just to still be just making it. Like, that sucks. I'm like, life is
Yes.
hard enough. Why would you want to just, be working for everybody else and then
Mhm.
still not, be happy, or still not be able to enjoy, your family members or your friends, or, your boo, whatever.
Mhm.
So,
I think that you
um,
shouldn't be just working to live. Like you should have a
yeah,
purpose. You should live a purpose life. You know
absolutely.
what? A lot of people say what YOLO and all that, and you only live once. No, you only die once. You should live every day, and you shouldn't be living to struggle and pay bills. So wealth kind of to
Mhm.
me is more
Good.
having the freedom to do what you want to do, buy what you want to buy, and not feeling stressed out about it, or having that
Mhm.
feeling of regret. Like, damn, I shouldn't have bought that because now my car broke, and now if I wouldn't have bought
Right.
that, I would be able to fix my car. You don't want that. You don't want to live that way.
Absolutely. No, that's so good. And then what you mentioned about not mixing the funds, I think that that's one of the issues that new business owners, run
Yeah.
into because a lot of people have talent. There's so many people who have talent and skills that they could work for themselves, but they
Hmm.
don't have the business, they're not business savvy.
But see,
And
here's the thing. When it comes to business, people go into business wanting to do what it is they want to do. For example, if you're a
Mhm,
hairdresser, you coming in want to be a hairdresser. You're not coming
right,
in trying to keep your books. You're not coming in trying to making
right.
sure that you have inventory set up, making sure your
You're like,
appointments are
this is my
scheduled. You're
talent.
not thinking about the business side. You're just thinking
Right.
about your talent, right? Just like you're saying,
Hmm.
just thinking
Hmm.
about your actual talent. So having to learn all of these things is like, man, it's discouraging. So especially new business owners, it's like, man, I didn't know
Absolutely.
all this. Come with it. I just want to do hair. I just want you to book your appointment, come get your hair done, and make my
Hmm.
money. That's it. I don't want to think about having to file taxes and pay taxes. I don't want to have to
Right.
think about bookkeeping every month. I don't want to have to think about how much I'm spending on inventory and supplies to
Hmm.
actually do someone's hair. They don't want to think about all these things because this is
Right.
what their purpose is to do hair. They don't know
Hmm.
anything about all of these other things, and to have to come to master classes and events and learn about
Right.
all of these things, kind of putting them out of their comfort zone, which is doing hair or whatever it is that.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
And then they can feel discouraged because I mean I've been there, too. I'm like, wait, no, this is what I'm good at. And I'm good at some other things and I can make do with some others, but that right there is a little it's
yes,
out of my
yes.
lane.
But it
But
really literally goes back to, thinking about your finances and making sure that
mhm,
you have the budget to hire people to do the things that
right.
you're not experienced or, educated on. It's no
Hmm.
problem with hiring an accountant to keep up with your books and being
Hmm.
transparent with them. And they can help you become more profitable actually, because now you're
Mm.
taking things off of your plate and you're able to go in and just do hair. You're able to go in and just book these appointments. You don't have to worry about your financial side or how to file your taxes because you have an expert on your team, and you should be looking to build a team, whether you're a small startup
Mhm.
company or you've been established for a while. You should be already always looking to build the actual team.
Absolutely. And that just made me think of something I heard TD Jakes in an interview on the Breakfast Club, and he was talking about that with building your team. And it's so
Yeah,
important for people to know this when you're building your team. You don't need another you. You need to find someone who, in the areas that you're not strong in,
yes,
and
and that can
find someone for
complement
that who's strong in that area, and then the other area what you need, but not a bunch of people who are good at the same thing because then there's competition there, and
you. Yes,
when you're focused on the wrong things instead of the big picture. And so yeah, when you had said that, I just took my mind right there, like you got to build your
yes,
team, and you build your team with people who see the business, like they love the idea, they're passionate about it the same way, but
hmm,
then they're good and they bring something
else to
else
the table.
to the team. Yeah, they're an asset because they're strong in this area where it is that you're like, okay, that's not my forte, but you got it, honey. So definitely. All righty. And so it's never too late to start, right?
Mhm.
But some people may believe that. So is it ever too late truly to start building wealth? Let's just say if you're older in age, how can you do that? How can you
I
start
don't think
building
that
wealth?
it's I don't think that it's ever too late to build wealth. I do think
Mhm,
that as you get older, it's kind of harder to
mhm,
persuade them that they can become wealthy because it's a lot of things
mm,
that you have to unlearn and relearn when it comes to
right.
wealth. I can use myself for example, if I can be transparent, right?
Mhm,
Like I knew about credit, but in my college years, I messed my credit up, right? So
mm,
as an adult, when I started realizing, hey, you need to learn how to leverage your credit. You need to fix your credit. So I felt like that
mm,
was one of the tests that I had to do to become wealthy, right? But I was in my
mhm,
late 20s. Whereas if I would have done the right thing that I knew to do before, I wouldn't have had to go back and backtrack and try to fix credit and do all of these things. But it's really a lot about unlearning and relearning different
absolutely.
ways and innovative about it because you can't just think about it. You're never gonna build wealth if you work in a 9 to 5, right? But you can build
Right.
wealth through a business. How? Business credit, using other people's money,
Mm,
paying your stuff on time so that they can offer you more or higher limits, being able to gain capital using your
okay.
personal credit to actually secure loans and secure business grants and secure all of these things that your or resources that your business may need to grow and become wealthy or become a corporation that you desire it to be. But you think about it, if you already all over the place and down and out in your personal finances, guess what it's gonna
Right.
do? Trickle over into your professional life. It's gonna trickle over into your
Right.
business. I said, if you don't have those accounts separated and you like, oh,
Right.
I need my nails done, so this week I'm about to swipe my part of capital card to go get my nails done, and it's not for a business expense. So for instance, if I'm going to get my nails done just to get my nails done and not for an actual event or a photo
Right.
shoot and it's pertaining to business, then I'm commingling funds and it's going to be harder for me to explain this on my taxes if I had to. So you got to keep that all in
Absolutely.
mind. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like
Mm-hmm.
you want to build wealth and you wanting to go in different avenues, you have to know what you want, especially from older to from young to old. You can't just say, "Oh, I want to be wealthy," and you're not taking any of their advice. No, I learned stuff from all ages. I learned stuff from kids. I learned stuff from adults. I learned stuff
Mm,
from our elders, right? So never feel like, "Oh, this person is too young. I can't learn anything from." I literally was
absolutely.
in a room
Yeah.
with some people that were way older than me today, and they stopped me and they were like, "Man, I didn't know some of the things that you talked about today." So
Mm,
just knowing, having that open mind and having that
mm-hmm.
mindset of I can learn anything in this moment or in the next moment, it can help you. I don't think that it's ever too old to you're ever too old to create wealth.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, and then when you think about it too, it's just like when you see your parents, even some people's grandparents that go back to school and they're like,
Yes.
they're learning a new
Yes.
skill. And the truth is, one thing I always admired when I was in college and I would see,
Older people.
someone who was a lot older, coming
Mhm.
back to school,
They're
it's
way
like
more determined.
all the pressure is gone because like they're chilling, they're maybe in
Mhm.
retirement or they are being taken care of from their spouse and they're just getting to go to school for fun. And when you go to school for fun and that pressure of like, okay, I got to get an A, or or you just because there's a lot of pressure when you're young and you're in school. You're like,
Right.
oh, I need to make these grades. But outside of that, when you don't have that pressure on you, you're really able to just thrive and really just
Yes.
soak up the knowledge. And so I think
I'm
that
glad
that
you
is
said that.
encouraging. Hmm?
I'm glad you said that because when you see those older people going back to school and getting those degrees for whatever reason that they put it
Hmm.
off in the beginning, maybe it was finances, maybe they had a kid, maybe they had to work, all of those
Hmm.
things put them in a determined mode. Like you see those
Yeah.
people,
Hmm.
older people go to college,
Absolutely.
they are not playing around. So those days
Hmm.
you coming in class hungover and don't want to be and missing school and all of the things and getting that refund check and all that. They don't have that. So they're determined.
Right.
Like they coming out of their pocket most of the times because they don't
Hmm.
qualify for that and all of these other things that we qualify for as young people or younger
Hmm.
people going to college or
Hmm.
first time college students. They don't qualify for those things. So now they
Right.
have a mindset of determination like, listen, I have to do this. This money is coming out of my pocket or either my job paying for it or
Hmm.
whatever it is that motivates them. They already have like a sense of determination that us as young college students really don't have. It's like, okay, I'm going to college
Right.
for my parents, or I'm going to college for a job, or I'm going, you
Hmm.
don't have the
Yeah.
same determination as the older people.
And then I didn't realize that they cap out like that. I didn't know that. I
Yes,
think if they don't make enough money, they can just apply and go to school. I had no idea. Huh.
yes.
So yeah, that would be even more, motivation to make sure that you're
Mhm.
doing it right. But also, I know that some of the people that I met, they were motivated for different reasons, like their grandkids,
Mhm.
or like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I want to do school. So it's kind of like that. Well, I'm gonna register, and take
Right.
classes as well. We'll do it together. And I
Right.
always love that. I think that's so inspiring because it just
Yes,
shows like,
it is.
if I can do it, and I'm retired and could be laid out somewhere, enjoying
Yes.
life, you definitely can do it because you're young
And
and,
keep in
feel
mind,
free
like
to.
school and
Yeah.
everything is staying innovative. So these things are changing. College is not how it
Mhm.
was. You can do college
Right.
online. You taking tests with your webcam on. Like it's a lot of things that have changed. And I've been out of college for about 10 years. Literally, this year makes 10 years that I've been out of undergrad. So just
Okay.
looking at the whole pace of how college is changing, how the world is changing, and for someone that's older than us, or 20 and 30 years older than us, going back to
Mhm.
school and trying to
It's even
keep up with
harder.
people that
Yeah,
know exactly, keeping up with the
that's
people that
right.
know about social media and know about checking emails. These people don't really know about
Mhm.
emails. Think about it. We learned about emails as we grew up. We learned about cell
Mhm.
phones and computers and laptops and internet as we
Right.
grew up. When we were kids, it was dial up. It wasn't just hop on, oh, what's the Wi Fi? We didn't have
Right.
Wi Fi as kids. We didn't have all
Exactly.
of the things. And now they have to grow with
I
it.
rem
So it's things that they have to learn on the way up.
Yeah, I remember that dial-up and that what was it, AOL with that little man? Go ahead. Yeah, you'd be waiting. We would be
Yeah.
waiting so patient because we couldn't wait to just get on this internet, and
And
explore. We're
listen,
like,
you
"Oh,
could use the
hurry up."
phone, you could be on the phone and the internet. It was a lot. Like
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking the other day, like, when did like the cell phone start? Because I remember having a cell phone in somewhere in high school, but
mhm.
I also remember the beeper, like the pager.
Yes, I remember the beeper. My
And so I
parents
was
were
like, I'm
like
gonna have
the
to look
beeper
that
era, the beeper
up.
payphone era, and then cell phones. I think cell phones came out maybe I was in middle school, but I don't think I
Yeah, I
got
think
my
so.
first cell phone until I was like in high school.
Oh yeah, now
Really?
the
Oh,
babies
do
got
you
it.
remember minutes after nine, like 3 minutes after nine,
Yeah, I know exactly, exactly. That's
nights and weekends?
that's so funny. Yeah, those little perks. Now everything's unlimited, but before you just be so desperate for that little extra something. That is so
Yes,
funny. But speaking of school, college, I have a question about that.
for sure.
So, do the school loans, if you are not, prepared, for school, what you want to do, but those school loans, a lot of times is that what contributes to people's, debt and make it really difficult for them to get out of it because they're
Yeah.
taking the school loans, they don't know what they want to do, so you're like, okay, next semester I'm changing my major, all of that.
Mhm.
So we know that the loans, um a lot of people are like, I'm still paying back school loans, but can you speak to
Right.
that? Like, what would be the smart way, I guess, to go about it when it comes to taking money, taking loans for school?
Definitely, I can speak to that. The first thing I would say is make sure that you are making some type of payment towards it,
Mm,
regardless if you have a job in your field, regardless if you're using this degree or whatever, right? Still make a payment
mhm,
towards it. The trick to
mm.
that is, y'all, student loans don't report how much you pay. They report that you made a payment. So don't let student
Oh,
loans ruin your
okay.
credit when you can be paying $5 or $10. It does not matter if you owe $50,000, $40,000. I'm not saying don't ever
Mm,
pay them off, but if you have money to pay more, then pay more. But if you don't, make that payment so that your credit score is not affected by
that's
negative or
good.
derogatory student loans. So make sure that you make a payment or get on a payment plan for your income bracket, because if you give them
Mhm.
a call, there's options available for you. So let's say we're in
Yeah.
COVID, right? No interest is being added to your student loans. Now would be the perfect time to snowball yourself
Mm,
out of that debt. What do I mean by
mhm,
snowball yourself out of that debt? I mean, list your student loans from highest to lowest or from lowest to highest, whatever is best for you, and
mhm,
start to pay as much as you can without putting
mm.
yourself in a hole on
That's
those loans
good.
while you don't have to pay interest on it, right? So that's one of the that's two things that you can do to help yourself get out of student loan debt. The other part of that is responsible borrowing. Think about what you're signing when you accept a student loan. If I would
Mm,
have known what I know now about
mhm.
money and finances and student loans, and don't get me wrong, at the moment I needed the money. I was a single mom. I had a kid. I was your typical college student. So I had to do
Right,
what I had to do. When I did
right.
discover loans, because for the first 3 years of college, I got through with just my grants. I didn't even discover loans until my senior
Okay.
year.
Yeah.
Then it was like, "Oh, sign me up for all the money," right? But I still didn't use it responsibly. But I
Yeah.
used to see, like, all my college friends and stuff getting, like, huge refund checks, and my refund check used to be, like, maybe $1,200, $1,300, and I'm like,
Right.
y'all able to go to the mall? Why y'all checks 5,000? And I didn't
Yeah, come
know,
out
right?
and out.
So boom, listen to other people that were not educated about money. They like,
Mhm.
yeah, you get XYZ amount of dollars. And I ran up a student loan tab of about $20,000, $30,000 just
Mm.
in a year's time, just for my senior year from those 2 semesters. And it's like, oh yeah, give me all the money. I
The
didn't need that
interest,
money
yeah.
because if I
Yeah,
survived all of this time without it, what was the difference? I was already working. I was already used to getting, my income
right,
tax. I was used to get, I was just at that age, that was a lot of money. Like all of those things was a lot of money, right? And
right.
right now it's not. But if I would have known better, I would have still borrowed, but I would have borrowed more responsibly, like based on what my income
Mm,
is. Or even if I would have took the money, I would have had a plan to pay it back faster versus still
right.
having to pay it back nowadays or whatever. So I always tell
Mm,
people
that's
make
good.
sure that you borrow responsibly, make sure that you pay them. Don't just say, oh, well, I'm on forbearance or I'm on deferment and keep deferring it and keep deferring it and keep deferring it until they send you a letter saying your student loan minimum payment is $500 a month. $500
Mm,
a month is not a little bit of money to take out of
right,
your household when you already have 50% going to your bills, that's necessary bills. And then
right.
you have your wants, you have your needs, and you have extracurriculars that you or your kids may be into. Then you want to go
Right.
shopping, and you still want to live life, a nice life, right? So you don't want
Mhm.
that to happen. So you want to get in ahead of it before and give them a call and say, hey, listen, I'm affected by COVID. I don't have a
Mhm.
full-time job right now. Is
Right.
there any income-driven plans that I can be put on to? Or,
To
what's going on? I might be displaced. I
alleviate some
might
of
be
that.
homeless at the moment. What is available for me? What are my options so that I can
Right.
start paying this debt down and making my credit score look better and making my debt to income ratio look better?
No, it's so good. And I want to go back to that point that you made about it not reporting how much you pay, but that you are making payments. That's really good to know because I didn't know that.
Mhm.
And I'm sure there's other people who didn't know that. And so and my credit looks pretty good, but I'm just like, it could look better
Yes,
if I
because
would
now
have
it's gonna
known
report
that.
you making payment consistently, and
Yeah,
also
exactly.
it's showing that okay, now your debt is going down. Even though if you're paying a little bit, then of course it's gonna only go down a little bit. But if you
Mhm.
can afford to snowball that thing
Yeah,
out and say, look, if I got $1,000 student loan, a $2,000 student loan, a $3,500 student loan, let's list
right.
it from highest to lowest. Which one you want
Mhm.
to knock out first? All right, so I know
Right.
this one is 1,000.
Because
That one
that's
might
more
be easier
interest.
for me to reach.
Right.
I can pay an extra $100 a month, and I'll have this thing knocked out in 10 months. I can pay an extra $200, or I can pay an extra $100 per pay period. Right, that's $200 a month. You'll have that thing
Mhm.
knocked out in a few months. Right, so just looking at
Mm.
where your disposable income is going versus going out to eat. You can say, listen, I'm not gonna go to Fleming's tonight. I'm not gonna go to the steakhouse tonight.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take this $100 and put it towards my student loan debt versus paying the
Right.
$5 or $10. You're knocking out something different. It looks so much better to say, boom, oh wow, you paid the student loan off. Like once I got that email, I was like, man, I paid one of my student loans off. I feel so
Yes.
good. Yes,
Absolutely. And no, that makes so much sense, to kind of knock that down from the highest, to the lowest because, there's more, you're accruing more interest rate the higher that number is. And I think that's a
yes.
big thing. People get overwhelmed and they're like, oh, I'm not gonna never be able to pay off these student loans, and give up. And it's just like, no, don't do that. And because hindsight is 2020, you always know more once you get older. You're like, dang, I could have did XYZ and been in a good spot. So
Yes.
I love all the little nuggets, and
Thank
I,
you.
I will be referring some folks, and I hope everyone, at home who's watching, is able to, take some things from it and apply it because we know that at least one person in your family is struggling with these student loans or their money, they're just not good with money. Now for me, I don't know
Right.
everything, but I am a good saver. I'm a good saver, and
Well,
then I'm
that's
like, okay,
good.
well,
That's a good
this
start.
one here, yeah, pay my bills on time, and so that's good. But I'm just like, okay, I want to still learn more about the wealth building because I
Mhm,
know I have the skills to do multiple things, but it's just
mhm,
that understanding like, okay, where it is, where you start. So I
mhm,
know we were talking about the student loans and different things like that. And what are the first steps, to get out of debt? So I know we talked about, paying, whatever loan, first, highest, whatever works for them. But what's the first step for
Mhm.
those who are just overwhelmed? They got tons of debt and they're just like, I don't know what to do. I work a job that is not paying me that great. So where do you start when you're living check to check? How do you get out of debt?
Oh, that's a hard one. But I'll say this. You have to be determined, like, to change your situation.
Hmm.
Everybody is literally probably one check away from living check to check, right? One expense or one emergency away from living check to check. Because if something else comes up, you can't
Hmm.
afford it, something's gonna go off, or something is not gonna, get paid, or you're gonna have to figure out what's more important. So if you look at that ahead of time before even getting to that situation, you'll say, okay, I'm gonna use the example. You have to make 2.5 times the rent when you rent an apartment, right?
Some
So you
places
already
three.
know, right? So you already know going into a job that you're accepting, I can't afford this place or I can afford this place, along with
Hmm.
utilities or anything else that may come along with cable
Right.
and those cable what you call it, subscriptions. Subscriptions
Hmm.
are a silent killer. Like, so you
Really,
have to think about the things that you're signing up for. Or it's just $9, or it's just $10, or
adds
it's just
up.
$14, or it's just $17. And before you know it, you're spending three, four, $500 in unnecessary subscriptions that you're not using. And
Right.
also you're spending unnecessary money outside of your household, meaning fast food, going out to eat, going on date nights, going to functions that you may or may not can afford, concerts, all of these things to
Hmm.
get the experience, and not really sitting down and buckle down and say, listen, in order for me to get myself out of the place that I'm in right now, right? I need to visualize myself in a place that I want to be. So if I'm not making money in this job, I need to find a job that's going to pay me enough to get out of debt, and
Right.
also to save money, and also to invest in whatever it is that I want to do, whether it's start your own business on the side until it grows, like whatever it is that you want to do for money, you need to learn how to, set yourself up for that. My main thing is, if you're already living paycheck to paycheck, you really need to sit down and look at your finances. What am I spending all of my money on? What types of debt do I actually have? And then double down on that snowball method and say,
Mm.
listen,
Right.
look, we're not gonna have cable for right now, but we can have Netflix. We can have, like, I
Hmm.
have to eliminate this
To
bill and
minimize
get
it,
the bill.
minimize those
Compromise.
expenses. Yeah.
Sacrifice for yourself. This is for you at the end of the day. So you have to think about, what
Absolutely.
is it that I
Absolutely.
want to do? How is it that I want to live?
Hmm. No, Black Marvel, he had mentioned it was 1999 when the cell phone came out. So, oof,
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
Okay. So I was 14?
99, man. I was teenager. It was like
Yeah, just before
can't
like
remember.
going into high school. So yeah, it was like,
Yes.
ooh, cell phone.
Like a
Now,
flip
it's so
phone.
crazy. The kids be like 5 years old and they got a cell phone. You're like, for what?
No,
What?
not just a cell
Why?
phone, an iPhone, like an iPhone, like the
They be
same
having
level
the
as
most
that.
expensive phone. You're like,
And
are you
see,
serious?
that's another thing that goes
Mhm.
back to your debt. Like, does your kid need an iPhone? Or can your
Do
kid
they?
just
Yeah,
survive
you're
with
right.
just a phone, or a cheap phone, or a free phone, a government
Yeah.
assistance phone? What is it
Give them a
that they
little
need? What is
Walmart.
it that
Little,
gotta take them? Boom, a straight talk phone. Something that
yep.
is not gonna cost you extra unnecessary money. We sign up for so many things that we don't need. And when we go
Right.
back to the drawing board, and literally, I'm a writer. I'm one of those. Listen, I got a new book right
Mhm.
here, right now. But I'm a person that writes stuff down. I need to write it down. I need to
That's
see it
good.
so I can,
Right.
I can
It's
visualize it
real.
first.
It's real when
And
you write it down.
yes, yes, and make a plan to get yourself in or out of this situation. Listen, okay, if I know I'm making $900 every 2 weeks, that's only $1,800. If your rent is $1,100, you struggling, because the rest of your other bills are gonna fluctuate, right? Your light bill is
Absolutely.
variable, your cell phone bill is variable, your gas prices are variable, right? Those
Hmm.
things that you cannot control. So you already putting yourself in a hole. Let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
You got to make sure that you're making good decisions. I'm not just going to take a job. Another thing that people do when they looking for jobs is they don't negotiate. If I'm on an interview
Exactly.
with me And I say, okay, V, you sound like a great candidate. Listen, the budget for this is maybe $15 an hour. For some people, $15 an hour is a good job, right? But if you're used to
Yeah.
making 22 or $30 an hour, you have to tell me,
Yep.
no, Drew, listen, I need at least $25 an hour.
At the very
Negotiate
least. Yeah,
exactly so
exactly.
that you can live how you
Especially
want
knowing
to
your
live.
worth. That comes with
Knowing your
knowing your
worth.
worth. Last week we talked about knowing your value, and it's just, translated as knowing your worth. And
Mhm.
when I used to interview, I mean, I work in HR. It's my 9 to 5. But before, you would just be like, oh, I hope they hire me. I hope they hire me. And so you're putting
Mhm.
on
You
just
just
trying
ready
to
to
be,
sign that
you
offer
know,
letter.
trying to shine and, dance and bells and whistles for them. And
Mhm.
you're at their mercy. But
Yep.
once I, got a lot more experience, working in HR for 9 years,
Mhm.
yeah, 9 years now. I come into the interview like, oh, we're interviewing each other because I want to make sure that this is a good culture fit. I want to make sure
Yes.
that I'm going to be happy here, and just check out what's your management style. Are you a micromanager? You hovering? Are you one of those managers that want me to do all the work for you so that you can shine, but then
Right.
I don't get a raise for 3 years. Like that's not gonna work for
Right.
me. And
Right.
so definitely once I learned that, I was like, oh, we will be negotiating
Mhm.
for
Are
from
there
now
any
on.
opportunities for growth, or is this one of those positions that I'm just gonna have to stay
Gonna
in and
be
keep
here.
getting a dollar to a quarter raise every year? Or is there
Mhm.
incentives? Can I grow
Yeah,
here? Can I stay in HR but move up on
right,
different levels?
right.
Am I eligible to reach the top peak? You know what I'm saying? So like you have to think about those
Exactly.
things and before you even sign on and say, oh yeah, I'll take it. $1,800. I don't have nothing right now. That's good to me. No, because if you're already in a hole, you putting
You're
yourself
not
in a
gonna be able
deeper
to get it.
hole. You putting yourself in
That's
a deeper
true.
hole because you're never gonna be able to get yourself out of it. Think about it.
That's
It's
true.
just like, when you go to the car lots, right? And I always say this example, but you go to the car lots and you have this dream car in mind, and you're like, I'm ready. I got the credit score, I got the down payment, I got all this stuff.
Hmm.
And they
Hmm.
say, oh, you don't qualify for that car, but I could put you in this one for 6 months, right?
6 months.
Don't do it. I can put you in this one for 6 months and you come right back and trade it in. When you go back to trade that car in that you didn't already want, you're gonna be upside down because you know what they're gonna do? Add the back of that car to your new
Hmm.
car that you already came here for. So like just
Exactly.
looking at stuff
Just
that you consider,
way, yeah.
putting yourselves in and weighing your options, like, listen, no, can't take this job. I'll take
Hmm.
another month of unemployment or whatever while I figure it out and
Right.
just go
Go for
by or whatever the case may be, but
absolutely.
not just taking anything just to say, listen, I have a job or I have a decent job or I
Hmm.
have some type of income coming in. Some type of income can still lead you to be homeless. You don't want to just have some type of income. You want to have
Exactly.
things where you can live the life that you want to live. You can give your kids the life that you want them to have, because
Hmm.
it's our responsibility. So I think about all of that. I think now
Yes.
that I'm more mature and I don't have a 9 to 5. I haven't had a 9 to 5 for about since 2018. So about 4 years I've been full-time entrepreneur, but I do look back at the
Hmm.
corporate structure that I was in and like all of the different jobs that I had and man, like some of
Yeah.
the stuff like I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't even took that job for $12 an hour and I shouldn't even took
Yeah.
this job and been working 2 jobs and still trying to run my business and still trying to do all of these things.
Right.
And you put yourself in a hole because now it's like, oh, I have to run my side business to make the extra money that I'm not making on the job.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's like a trickle
But it
down
makes you
effect.
appreciate it. It makes you appreciate it that much more.
Yep.
Because when you're like, I remember when I used to work here and I was doing my business on the side and just waited, trying to, work really hard so I could just my
Mhm,
side hustle could be my main job, because it's your passion. And you, of
mhm.
course, you want to get to that place where if you're business minded, or have a business
If that's what you
idea,
desire. Yeah,
yeah,
if that's what you
yeah,
desire. Some people
to be able
love
to do
to
it full
keep
time.
their 9 to 5 and do their business on the side, and nothing is
It's
wrong with that.
a lot of
It's
work.
all about what you desire, but you still have to have structure. You gotta have structure, you gotta
Absolutely.
have time management, you still need all these other components that we're
Hmm.
talking about today. Like, you need to have a business bank account, a bill account, a income account, an expense. You need to have all of these things still in place. no matter what. No matter what level
Right.
you're on, it does not matter if your side business only makes $1,000. Okay, so $200 need to be getting paid to you. The rest needs to whatever needs to go on bills needs to go on bills. Whatever needs to go on
Mhm.
inventory, go on inventory. Like really still have it structured so that when you do scale and you're able to
Mhm.
get out of having a 9 to 5 and having a business on the side, you're
Then
still
you
able
can.
to grow at the pace that you need to grow and not make more money and say, okay, well, I deserve a Chanel bag since I made more money. You
Yeah.
may not be able to afford a Chanel bag in this moment just
Right.
because you have that amount of money in your account. Things happen, emergencies happen, businesses fail, businesses pivot. You got to think
Yeah.
about all of these things. So you got to
Big
be
thing.
prepared.
Yeah, well, my grandpa used to always say when he was living, don't start nothing you can't keep up. And I'm sure other people heard that.
Yes,
Do not
yes,
do it. So I've been the queen of living within my means, and then
yes.
but kind of
Or
too
even
kind
below.
of too much at one point, because I used to drive a little putt putt, and my employees when I got in an accident, and then I had to get a new car because before I had
Mhm.
cash cars, and I was liking that. I was like, I don't want a car payment. And
Exactly.
so I got in an accident, and I had no choice but to get a new car, and so I got
Hmm.
a new car, and then I remember the day that I rolled up, on site,
They probably
and
thought you paid.
my employees, they came in, they were just like, Miss Yvonne, I'm so glad that you got a car because we would just be looking like she come in here so fly and then rolling in with the little putt putt. You deserve it. And I was just like, that's what y'all been thinking.
But listen, it's two sides to that. I gotta play devil's advocate. Listen, I gotta play devil's advocate because getting a car is such a responsibility, right? You have to
I'm
think
halfway
about
paid down too. It's halfway paid off. I'm so
exactly.
excited.
So I think about that, and I think about the people that are buying cars just for a look, and I think
Hmm.
about the people that
Or
are
leasing them.
disciplined
Yeah.
enough to continue to ride that cash card, even if their income is inclining, or even I think
Right.
about both sides of it. Like I always try to look at stuff from two views, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because listen, you
Yeah.
were happy in your little hoopty, right? You was happy. You wasn't worried about the
It's getting
outside.
me
Cause listen,
ready.
I got a radio and I got
Oh
air.
yeah. Well,
I'm
yeah,
good.
this that
I can
car,
drive to
that
the
car, it was dying a slow death. And it was about to take me with it. So yeah, I really needed to get a new car because I was just like, if I didn't get into that wreck, it would have killed me because it was so bad. But I was just so used to just going to get the car fixed. But then I was just like,
Mhm.
anytime though that the thing that you got to fix costs more than you paid for that cash car, then that's when you give it up,
It's time to go.
and
Yeah, it's
and I
time to
hadn't
go.
got there yet. So I was like, we're gonna keep rolling. God said, no, we're not.
It's
So, but yeah,
time. See, so when you deserve it, that's the other end of it. When you deserve it,
yeah,
it's time to go get it. Don't
right,
hinder yourself by not getting the things that you deserve when you know that, listen, I'm disciplined enough. I know I can
right.
afford it. I know that I can afford maintenance. I'm looking
Hmm.
up the tires. I'm looking up how much oil changes cost. And I know
Right.
oil changes can be 2 to 3 to 4 times a year, right? So I'm looking at all of
Yeah.
these things to
Definitely.
make sure, okay, when it's time for my car note to come up in 3 months, am I going to be able to still afford an oil change? If I get a flat,
Right.
am I able to afford tires? Am I able to, can I still do these things with this new
Right.
expense that I'm adding to my plate?
Right.
Some people
Exactly.
can't. And some people get the
Yeah.
car
You're
to
right.
floss on the next person or to say, oh, I got a new car. Or what we doing on Instagram, taking pictures of the steering wheel and taking pictures in front of the cars and doing
Yeah.
all this stuff, right? But how much wealth is that bringing you? None. Because guess what?
Right.
You still have to pay this bill at the end of the day. Or guess what? They come and get it.
Yeah,
They're
or get
gonna
a
come
car
and get
that
it.
that is going to last you. Because I was looking at some different things. My dream car is an Audi. And
Mhm.
yeah, but then when I was looking up how expensive it is to fix it when things go wrong, I was like, yeah, we're gonna let that dream just
Exactly.
sit on
Just
there for
think
a
about
little bit longer.
it. Guess
I was like,
what?
we're
You
gonna.
could be making money. You could be making money for that Audi, and then something happens.
Exactly, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was able to afford, the car payments. And so I was like, oh, all this time I was thinking, no, don't do that because you don't want to be, outside your means. And I was so used to thinking that way and budgeting, from when I used to make no money when I first moved from California to Georgia. I was making nothing. I mean,
Mhm.
nothing. And
Right.
so I got
That's a
used
that's a
to, I
big
was
climate
living,
change.
yeah, oh yeah. And I was living a certain kind of way. And so even though I started making more money, oh, dream deferred. I know the feeling. Yeah, but
That's a
even though
huge financial climate change from California to
oh
Atlanta.
yeah,
Oh,
but when I was in California, everything was shot because when I was in California, I was with my parents, and so all I had to
mhm,
do was pay gas, and here and there, an oil change, and then my phone
mhm.
bill. And so I
Yep,
didn't have any of those expenses like that. So
real
I was just
bill,
like,
real
when you
life.
move, you got to get you a cash car. We're gonna go buy a car at the auction, and and
Mhm,
that's what I did. And then I got another car later when that car went out, another cash car because me and
mhm.
my God, why can't I say my mechanic? He's from New Orleans, and so he was just like, I got a guy over here. He sells cars. It's that we can go. I'll take you over there. We'll go get a good deal. So we did that, and it lasted me. These cars lasted me for good, 4 years. And they only were like 3,500 or 4,000. So I was like, that's good, But time came and it was just like you got to get you something new. And so yeah, I was like, oh, I am able to handle this. And then so I started to rethink,
Yeah,
like, don't think poor. don't, don't think
exactly.
struggle. And so
The
that's
thing
how I
about
kind of
that
learned
is,
more about money.
yes, the thing about it is you don't want to be stingy with yourself, but you do want to
Mhm.
be aware and disciplined. So
Absolutely.
if you're making a certain amount of money, that does not mean, oh, I need to save, 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 save. Because putting money in the bank is not making you money. You need to invest in things that's
True.
going to make your money work for you. So if you have money in
That's
the
true.
bank, put it
Hmm.
in a CD, take it out, take the interest out in 6 months, reinvest in the CD or reinvest in a higher CD so you get a higher percentage back. So like things
And you're
like that, I
saying,
don't just
oh,
say, oh,
CD.
save,
Hmm.
save, save. I'm not one of those people that say save, save, save. Because guess what? Rainy days gonna come. Sometimes rainy days come every week for people. So you never know like
Yeah,
what
it's true.
situation can be. You don't want to just say, I'm saving for a rainy day because your rainy day might be having to buy 4 tires at one time versus having to buy one
And those
tire at one time.
tires,
Your
those
rainy day
tires
might
are
be
expensive.
if they recall your whole entire car. What if you so all of those things, yes, yes, you have to think about all
Okay,
of oh yeah,
good.
CDs, certificate of deposit. And I'm sorry y'all if y'all didn't know
Thank you.
that. But
I didn't know.
or like a high yield interest bearing checking account that gives you money for having money in the bank. Because most of the time we
Mm,
just have money in the bank and it's not doing anything for us. We need our money to be out there working for us while we are on the back end working for ourselves.
absolutely. That's great. Nope. Thank you so much for that. Well, we have our last question, and this is going to tell us a little bit about what you got going on or coming up, and that is talking to us about taxes in Tulum.
For sure. Okay, yeah. Texas in Tulum is our third annual Wealth Development Retreat. This year we're going international, so it is our biggest event yet. We
Nice.
are bringing out 12 different experts in different industries, such as mental health. I have an actual therapist coming out. She's going to be talking about how to cope, different business coping mechanisms, your mindset, all of those things. Because a lot of us get discouraged in business or
Mm,
feel as though, oh, my business is not growing, or my business is not growing at the rate that I think it should be growing at, or you
right.
start to dibble and dabble in other things because you feel like this business isn't working, or you just probably haven't put in enough work, enough time,
Mhm,
or even thought about hiring a team to help you get your business to the next level, right? We also
mhm.
have two lawyers, business and trademark lawyers, coming out, talk about the benefits of
Nice.
trademarks, talk about different business laws, tax resolution. So for me, for instance, if you owe taxes like beyond a substantial amount, they can help you with tax resolution and getting that bill down and getting it consolidated, and talking about the different laws in the different states that may apply to your business. Another
Mm.
person we'll have is going to be talking about life insurance and getting those right,
Oh,
those
that's good.
professional policies, such as key person policies. If you're a key person in your business, you can instantly transfer generational wealth to your heirs, right? So if it's your
Mhm,
spouse, if your kids, or whoever, using that key man policy, right? If this takes you out of your
mhm,
business, if you die today or tomorrow, can your business continue without you, right? So you want to
mm.
have that coverage and that asset protection over you already. The other
That's
person
good.
will have is, of course, I'm talking about taxes and bookkeeping and making sure that your finances, everything financial in business is going the way you need it to go. Whether you are profitable or not, we'll talk about it in those on those sessions. We also
That's
have Lily
good.
Mae, of course. She'll be there doing red carpet interviews and talking to business owners about PR, which is public relations. If you haven't had any press or public relations, it's literally what we're doing right now. Talking to V is my public relations. This is some press for me.
Mm,
So we're going to kind
right.
of repurpose this content. I'm sure she's going to post it on her social media. I'll post it on
Mhm.
my social media. It's going to be live on YouTube, all of those things. We also have some other people coming in talking about different additional passive income, such as federal government contracts. Some people have businesses already, right? And what the government
Mhm.
does is pays us for things that already exist. So, for example, if you have a janitorial or cleaning service, you can win government contracts and
Mm.
sublease those out to someone else that has a janitorial company or under your
Oh,
company
wow.
and pay them as a contractor, right? And you don't have to do that job, but you get the money from the government to pay you and pay your employees or your contractors to go clean commercial
Mhm.
buildings, clean residential properties, clean hotels, hospitals, all of those things, right? And of course, we
That's
need
good.
cleaning. Think about it. It's COVID. Everybody wants things
Right.
sanitized and cleaned, and they
Absolutely.
need that on a consistent basis. So there's a whole bunch of different money out there for that. We also have short-term rentals. So we'll have somebody coming in to teach you exactly how to get into the short-term rental business, whether you want to own
Mm.
property or whether you want to acquire properties without owning them. His name is Justin, so he'll be talking about that. That's who actually helped me and my husband get into the short-term rental space. So we just
Oh,
did our first booking for our New Orleans unit here for Essence Weekend. So that's one of the
oh
things we'll
yeah.
be teaching you on. We have a systems and scaling person. She'll be talking about how to scale your business and actually remove yourself from your business and start working on your business instead of being an entrepreneur that works in your business every single day. If you
Wow.
have to show up and be in your business every single day, then you're an employee of your business. And we didn't get into being an entrepreneur to give
To
up
be
our
an
freedom
employee.
and continue to trade our time for money, right? We got into it
Right.
to get that freedom so that we can be there for our families, so that we can call our own shots, so that we can grow and scale our own companies. So she'll be talking about different ways on how to actually scale and grow your company. We have a social media influencer. She'll be there showing you different ways to either become a social media influencer, talking about her story on how she became a social media influencer, how to make money in
Nice.
that realm. So it's all about funds and fun. We bring in vibes and value to Tulum
Yes.
July 29th through August 2nd. I don't want to miss anybody. Let me make sure. We have my husband. He's a wealth and wellness coach. He'll be showing you how to get into your routine, whether it's your mindset and you're like, man, I want to work out, but I never go work out. Okay, let's talk
Mm,
about it. Let's get into your routine. On these 4 days that we're in Tulum, we're going to
good.
get up and we're going to start our days off with light workouts every single day. And he's a really aggressive trainer. So a lot of people are kind of intimidated by him when they see him work out. But he kind of
But it's
literally
good.
strips himself of everything when he's working with a new client, and he's gonna work out with you. He's not that trainer that's like, give me 100 jumping jacks and he gonna watch you and
Mhm.
record you. No, I'm
It's
gonna do
not boot
100 jumping
camp.
jacks right with you. Right. Or we
Right.
gonna break it down. You can't get to 100 yet. All right, let's do 25 today. Tomorrow, let's do 30. He's gonna build you up mentally, physically, spiritually, right? And
And
also
that's so
it
important though, Drika. It's so
mhm,
important because when you are, working on your business and things like that, it's a lot and you're working nonstop, but you do have to
yes.
take that time to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, you're eating right and getting, even if you're walking, going for a walk,
Mhm.
so you can clear your mind, and that's going to be good, to relieve the stress and working
Yes.
out, being physical is going to help you with that stress as
30
well.
minutes of
Because
physical
you don't
activity
want to
per
just
day.
stroke out because you're so stressed and you trying to make your dreams happen.
Right.
It's like,
And see, I think, like you said, a lot of entrepreneurs or a lot of new business owners or small business owners think that they have to have this no days off mentality when it comes
mhm,
to business or when it comes to them starting a business. You don't have to be that way. If you structure everything properly, even if it's just you, your business
mm,
can run smoothly and you have those
mm,
boundaries set. So we're going to be teaching on all of those aspects, of course, customer
love it.
service, processing systems, email marketing. We have branding and marketing coaches coming out as well, web designers,
Wow.
brand managers. All of those people will be hitting the stage and bringing presentations. We're going to have a Q&A session as well so that you can ask those pressing questions that you have as an entrepreneur. It's for men and women,
Mhm.
husbands and wives, business partners, college students, aspiring entrepreneurs. Grab your packages now. It's texasandtulum.com. I think we only have
Okay.
about today, the 12th. We have about 4 days left to grab your package if you're interested in coming. But
Okay.
yeah, it's all inclusive. Your flight is included in the package. Your room and board is included. Your food is included, as well as guess what? We're gonna have excursions as well. So we have a whole full day
Oh,
where we're doing
that's
nothing but
awesome.
excursions, like zip lining, ATVs, cenote tours, and all of those things, and just actually experiencing Mexico, which is what content. So if we
Yeah.
always struggling with content as move into this digital creator space and being an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
And we content. So there people are thinking about that. So you'll be able to get great content. Of course, the social media lady will be able to show you how to create or curate great content. We'll have
That's
a
really
video
awesome.
photographer there that'll be taking professional headshots, which a lot of business owners don't have. So when somebody actually ask you for a professional headshot, yes, I will. Somebody asks you for a professional headshot and you don't have it. Now you're like, what's a professional headshot? So now you're trying to Google what's the headshot. You'll already
Yeah,
have that. You get it from Tulum with a professional headshot. Some packages come with a mini photo shoot. So you can grab some clothes, pack up your clothes, and get all of that content in one time, as well as professional commercial development. So you'll be able to get your 30-second elevator pitch together or something that you're working on or getting ready to
that's
launch.
awesome.
We'll create a
Mhm.
commercial right there on the spot that you're gonna go home with. So that's all included in our packages.
That's awesome. And again, where can they buy these tickets?
Of
Where can
course,
they
you can go
find
to
them?
my website or you can just visit our specific Tulum website, which is taxesintulum.com. So TAXESINTULUM.com.
Awesome, awesome. And will you share with the people where they can find you and follow you and where to look for any upcoming events?
Of course. Definitely follow my personal Instagram page, which is Drika M. Carter, which is DRICKAM Carter, CARTER. And you can also follow our business pages, which is Carter Capital PLLC. And also I have
Good.
my tax brokerage Carter and Associates LLC.
All right, it's down here on the bottom. Well, thank you so much, Rika. I really appreciate you taking the time and coming on Talks with V, joining us here at the HBCU Lounge Network, and just sharing a lot of valuable information. I'm like, oh, I learned a lot. I'm gonna have to go back and look and like, that's what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna do. I'm getting my plan together. Okay, I feel very empowered, and I know a lot of people in the audience they will feel the same way. And the
Mhm.
replays will be on virtual first dates, YouTube as well. So it'll be posted in both YouTube channels. And I'm just so excited. Oh, okay. Yes, Rod, she is.
Yes, baby, I'm from New Orleans.
He said you related to Little Wayne. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, oh, you did give us baby, but give it to us one more time before we get out of here.
Yes, baby,
Baby,
I
one
am from New Orleans, baby.
Thank you so much. And to the audience, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And we'll see you next time. Good
Thank you,
night.
B. I appreciate you.